Hello, pilots, and welcome back to another X-Wing flight video brought to you by Out of Art Gaming. As always, my name is Phil, and today we have a little bit of Empire versus Empire. Could this be a schism in the Galactic Empire, or is it just a training exercise? We'll have to find out later. But joining me for this, we have...
Hi guys, I'm Amy. I'm really happy to be back. Thanks for having me again, Phil.
No worries, Amy's glad to have you back, and especially considering we've got two Empire lists, and I think our frequent listeners are probably quite aware how much of a fan you are of the Empire faction, so this is looking like it's going to be a great game. So we do have Fraser on the left with multiple ships, and myself on the right. We've got some new ships being flown here, or new pilots. So did you want to have a start of a quick run through of what Fraser's got?
Yeah, so Fraser is running Volscaris, which is one of the brand new pilots from the Sky Strike Academy expansion rather. So Volscaris is fielding Predator and hull upgrade. Then we have Major Rhymer in one of the TIE bombers with advanced proton torpedoes, cluster missiles and proton bombs. We've got the TIE RB, Litandri, with synced laser cannons, hull upgrades, and target assist. Ooh. Whoa!
Looks like we've got something happening here.
Oh no, oh my god.
Okay, would it be the Emperor wants to talk to us about something? Ooh, looks like this is an IRL game rather than TTS.
Ooh. Nice.
Interesting.
Like a bit of post-lockdown gaming.
Yes,
This will be good fun. And the models look so cool as well. They do on TTS, but they look so much better in real life.
It's just so nice to be able to actually have them on the table. This is the first game back. The first game actually I've played in real life this year. So it was great to do this. But anyway, you were going through Fraser's list. I think we were just talking about, have we just finished Major Rhymer?
Just finished Litandri before the Emperor decided to take over with his little message. So yeah, we've got Litandri in the TIE RB with synced laser cannons, a hull upgrade and the target assist, MGK 300s and two bog standard naked TIE fighters, both PS2, Obsidian Squadron pilots, no upgrades.
Nice. So quite an interesting list there, especially having the TIE RB in there with some more manoeuvrable ships. I quite like that. It'd be interesting to see how well that plays out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Especially to have 5 ships against 3 as well. That's going to be really interesting to see.
Yeah, it does make it quite tricky. And talking about those 3 ships, so on my side of the table, I've decided to go for 666s. So we have Soontir Fel, the Baron himself, in the TIE Interceptor with Deadeye Shot and Stealth Device. We have Sienna Rhee with Marksmanship and Stealth Device. Again, another one of the new Interceptor pilots from the Sky Strike Academy pack. And Darth Vader himself is in the OG TIE Advance this time with Hate, Fire Control System, and concussion missiles. So 3 I6s on the board. I thought, you know what, you can do it now in Empire. You've got to give it a try, right?
Yeah, it's got to be done.
So it's going to be an interesting matchup. I mean, 3 ships versus 5. I mean, if any 3 ships can do it, these are probably the 3 that can do it. But gonna have to hope not to get pinned down and caught in a crossfire, because that could be quite scary.
Yeah, especially if one of your ships gets sort of pinned down by all 5. That's going to be...
Yeah, even with Stealth Device, you'd need to have some very good dice there to combat that. And looks like I'm going for a bit of a slow play here, moving up the board, but unfortunately that seems to be the direction where everyone else is going, so we'll have to see if that's where I decide to carry on going.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at the list, and I know we ask this every time, which one would you favour in this matchup?
In pure numbers, Fraser. However, Sunterfell is my absolute favourite pilot, without a doubt. So I kind of am more favoured towards your list. But then again, to have that firepower from 5 separate ships as opposed to 3, I guess it depends on your playing style, really. I mean, you know me, I like doing a lot of swarms, and the more firepower, the better. But at the same time, you know, Sunter is my main man, so I'm kind of rooting for him to win.
Yeah. I think what's quite interesting, obviously, with the 666 is obviously that they're extreme aces. They've got some good maneuverability. But I'm looking at Fraser's list, and I'll tell you what, the thing that's scaring me the most is Major Rhymer. Cluster missiles and advanced proton torpedoes. It's also got the proton bombs as well, which is not nice. But looking at those torpedoes and missiles, that's something you really don't want to come off. And if we go back and have a look at one of the previous games, we can see how dangerous advanced proton torpedoes on a bomber can be when it gets within range 1. So that in itself is quite scary. Mm-hmm. And those sync laser cannons as well, if Lytton can pull that off with a calculator range 3, I don't get a range 3 bonus there. So there's some good tools in there to try and counteract my aces. It all depends on how the first couple of engagements go and how if I can dodge around them, or if Fraser gets into a really good blocking position. So we'll have to wait and see.
Sorry, which one were you hoping to pin down first? Or focus down first?
So for me, I think I'd want to get Rhymer out of the way first.
Right.
I know that obviously you've got Volt, who can be quite tricksy with his ability, and obviously Lytton Dream with the sync laser cannons, but I think those munitions on Rhymer, if he's able to pull those off, are just extremely scary. They could quite easily one-shot either Sunter or Sienna, possibly even Vader. I think Vader is probably the safest of the lot with his force and hate and the fact that he's 3 hull, 2 shields. I think he's probably the safest of the lot, but I mean, we've seen that interceptors can go down very quickly, especially if they get a very unfortunate roll.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how that actually plays out. And we can see Rhymer is being very aggressive there. He's coming right into me, so...
He's being very brave.
It's got some good ball coverage, though, as well there. I mean, you've got the 2 TIE fighters and the heavy covering that top end. So if I decide to continue going that way, it's a lot of firepower that's going to be coming right at me. Looks like Fraser barrel rolling down to avoid that gas cloud.
Yes, almost as if he's anticipating sort of the next phase, because obviously you're kind of going towards the top of the board for the minute. It looks as if he's going to try and get behind you in some way.
Yeah.
Unless if you are, but you keep focusing him down. I should imagine you're probably going to want to do some form of turns.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think the key with this AC list is to get as much damage in as quickly. I know that's sort of the key for most things, but to get as much damage in as possible, especially when focus firing. I mean, I've got some good tools in there. Sunter with Deadeye and Sienna with Marksman. They're really good upgrades, and they pair together quite nicely, especially if you lead with Sienna and then try and get that final shot with Sunter to take something out, avoiding giving Sienna that additional unnecessary stress. But I think I tell you what, I really do like Sienna as a pilot. I think she's absolutely brilliant, giving you an I6 there at a fairly cheap point. Not as cheap as Hera, I might add. Hera is a ridiculously cheap I6.
Oh gosh, yeah.
But yeah, so it looks like it's the old bait and switch there from me. pulling everything down. Will we get the boost in from... Yes, we get the bank boost in from Sienna there.
I've just revised on her pilot ability, and yeah, that is a great ability to have for Sienna.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, there was a lot of negativity about her, the initial part of the ability of when if she's the one that deals that final blow to a ship, that she gets that stress. However, if one of her compatriots gets blown up, she removes the stress. But I think that, again, being at initiative 6, it's not... I don't find that initiative 6 are the ones that take ships out straight away. They're normally the ones that soften up a little bit. And then you find it's like your I4s, your I3s that get that final shot in. But it looks like our first shot of the game will be Soontir Fel into Major Rhymer. I believe Bullseye is active, so it's range 3. So plenty... I mean, those are all the wrong dice that Fraser's holding there. I mean, he's got to throw roll all of that. We're not in 40k rolling like hundreds of dice. But let's see how this one goes. And we do have the dice cam back, so 2 hits and a blank. Not a bad first shot, I don't think.
No, that's not bad at all.
And 2 evades. Not a bad start there, I suppose. And now we have range 2 from Sienna. Just the one. But it goes through. 2 focuses, so that's the first damage there on Major Rhymer. And Vader very much out of range there, so...
Still a good round.
Yeah.
Of course, so obviously, Rhymer's still got to shoot back.
Yeah. So, what we're seeing here now, so Volscaris is now up next. Now, his ability, he has a depleting charge on his card. Now, he can spend that charge to perform an action in the engagement phase. So obviously he's utilising that to move, but it does give him a deplete. Or a strain. I think it's a strain, actually. Have you got Volt's ability there to hand?
Volt, yeah. Bear with me 2 seconds. So, he gains 1 strain token to recover 1 charge. Before you engage, you may spend 1 charge to perform an action, and then he's got all thrusters added on as a sort of like another free ability.
Yeah. Ooh, 5 natural evades on the first defense roll from Soontir there.
Why can't my dice do that?
I have no idea.
Need to take some tips from Fraser's dice rolls.
Hey, that wasn't Fraser's, that was mine.
That was yours. Sorry.
That was my dice rolls. My dice are evidently going, remember me? We used to play all the time. They're trying to win my favour at the moment, it would appear. And if they keep doing that, they'll definitely win my favour. So, pretty good there. No damage on my side, which is nice. 1 damage on Rhymer. But it looks like it's going to be quite awkward. Rhymer's in a good position to get in, get a target lock, and possibly try and pump out some advanced proton torpedoes. So, we shall see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
Those TIE fighters look like they're in a good position to come and try and get in at Vader. So Vader's sort of a bit on his lonesome at the moment.
He is.
But I'm not going to lie, it was such a nice change of pace to be able to actually get back in the store, see like my fellow X-Wing enthusiasts, and just actually have the models on the board. I mean, it's been great playing on TTS, and I will continue with TTS, as I believe you will as well, Amy.
Yes.
But to actually be able to get the ships back on the board, so they're not just gathering dust on the shelf or in your cases. It's just, oh, it was so nice.
Yeah, I've not really been back to this studio just yet. Most of my games at the minute do tend to be on TTS unless Tim's over, and then of course we will happily sort of take over the kitchen table and shoot at each other.
Yeah.
I still can't get Dan to play. He follows it, like he understands the pilots, he understands the abilities and how things work, but to get him to physically sit and play with me, I'm still struggling on that one.
It can be difficult sometimes to get your partners to play. I've managed to convince my wife to play a couple of times, very grudgingly. I normally have to do the puppy dog eyes. Oh, it's been so long since I've had a chance to have a game. Please, can you play? And then she ends up kicking my butt, which is always annoying. Like, just naturally good at the game, and you're like, well, this is supposed to be my thing. I'm supposed to be good at this.
How dare you beat me at my own game?
But it is always fun when you can get a chance to play. But like I said, being back in the store, not only was it great to see the other guys there who play, but also just to have that buzz and that environment and hear other games going on and people cheering when they're getting good results. So yeah, I want to quickly just say thank you very much to Entoyment for getting everything back up and running in a nice, safe environment for us. It was an absolute pleasure to be back in the store. Ooh, and that's a spicy position for Reimer to be in.
Yeah.
Who do we think he's going to target lock? Soontir or Sienna?
I want to say Soontir.
Yep, it was a target lock on Soontir.
Yep. I think out of all the Interceptor pilots, or probably Empire in general, he is probably one of the most hated pilots to go up against, unless you're flying him, and then of course he's your favourite.
I think that though comes down a lot to version 1 Soontir. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love version 2 Soontir, but I don't think he's as good as he was in version 1. Version 1 was truly broken, especially when you had the old push the limit, stealth device on there, and the Royal Guard tie, and the old auto thrusters. That combination was just insane because you'd basically just go, right, I'm going to focus, I'm going to push the limit to an evade, and then I'm going to get another focus because I've got a stress token. All right then, try and shoot me. Ooh, but here is a bit of a tactical play, I think, if I do say so myself. Deliberately bumping Soontir so that the target lock is now, air quotes, useless.
It's as if you saw that target lock coming.
I'm not going to lie, I kind of had the position. I knew that whichever one was target locked, I would bump with that one and then come in behind with the other one. Now, this is something that I'm not going to lie, I do prefer on TTS, having to train tracks and bump, but it was also good fun to redo it again. I mean, TTS just does it for you. And you always wish that you had like 4 or 5 pairs of hands sometimes.
Yeah.
But there we go. So, Soontir is now bumped, meaning that target lock won't affect him. He won't get shot, so no target lock worries. Sienna has a lovely range 1 shot. But Soontir does also still get a focus because he's got an enemy in his bullseye. So just in case something does take a pot shot at him.
He's covered, he's fine.
He is absolutely loving life right now. So no shot from Soontir fell. I think we'll just check to see if he's got Volt. Oh no, we're going straight for Sienna. Range 1 of Reimer. Marksmanship is now live. Let's see what happens here. Ooh.
Oh!
So that was a hit and 3 crits, and Marksmanship turned that last hit into a crit. 4 crits. Oh. Sorry, Fraser, you don't have anything to change that. Oh, my dice really love me at the moment. So we have a number of crits coming in. So we have a structural damage, a damage engine, a direct hit. So that'll do it. And a fuel leak.
That is not what you want.
Well, I said I didn't want Reimer on the board for very long, and I suppose that's one way of doing it.
That was a disgusting roll, but it was brilliant. I loved it.
It was a disgusting roll. Just checking, Suntir is now out of range. Now, Sienna does actually get a stress there because of her ability. There we go, there's the stress. So Sienna actually, after your forward attack, if the defender was destroyed, gained 1 stress token. As you said, the other part of that, after a friendly ship at range 0 to 3 is destroyed, remove 1 stress token. So that, I'm not going to lie, for a second round of shooting after coming back from being on TTS for so long, that felt quite nice at that point.
Yeah.
So, but there's still a lot to chew through on Fraser's list, and he's definitely got a lot. Yeah, that's disappointing there for Vader, but he does have the target lock. So spending the focus. And TIE Fighters being TIE Fighters. I think TIE Fighters and I'd say probably Z95s are sometimes the hardest ships in the game to kill.
Yeah.
Because they're so cheap that the dice just seem to love them. They're like, yeah, cheap, expendable, yeah, we're not going to die. We're just going to stick around forever. Oh, nothing quite in range there for Volt. And the TIE RB is just out of range.
And the TIE Fighters.
I'll tell you what, the TIE RB, we've said it so many times, but look at it compared to the regular TIE Fighters. It's massive.
It's so cool.
It is so big, so cool. So
chunky.
Cool. Yeah. Just checking to see if that is obstructed. Lasers are great, but they can be a bit finicky sometimes, so...
Is that a Star Wars face mask I see you wearing as well?
Of course it is. Of course it is. My wife decided to make some lovely face masks for us at the beginning of lockdown last year. She made me some Star Wars ones, which I was quite happy about. So it looks like we ruled that as being obstructed there, so no damage into Vader. This was definitely not obstructed. And more natural evades. Wow. Yeah, my dice are good. I promise they're just regular dice. No tampering has been done with them. Honestly. So, very solid round of shooting there for me. Gonna be...
Doing good.
Yeah. Although Vader is in a bit of a tricky position now. It looks like he could potentially have 4 ships coming down on him quite quickly. So it'd be interesting. I mean, would you, with the position as it is, would you focus it on Vader or would you try and go for blocks on those interceptors?
I personally would go in for Vader since he's the closest. Be rude not to, or at least send 3 ties off and the interceptor maybe to try and block the interceptors in some way.
Yeah.
I'd definitely make some form of beeline for Darth, though.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, although he's got 2 force at the moment, he can get those back with hate, but he's a sizable chunk of the list, In fact, in this list, he is 77 points, so he is the biggest part of this list. And those concussion missiles could be quite scary if some of those ships start getting regular damage cards on them. Those interceptors, they're a little bit out on the side now, so they're going to need to start trying to have to swing back in through those obstacles, which could be a little bit tricky.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what Volt's going to do. Mini stress, so or is it a strain? It's a strain, isn't it? So
It is a strain token, yeah.
blue maneuvers get rid of strain, don't they? Because it's a red token.
Yeah, blue maneuvers get rid of strain. So when you do a blue maneuver, you can get rid of one strain or deplete and one stress.
Yeah, so it just shows how much I use strain tokens. I don't use them very often. I can kind of imagine him doing some form of, I'd say, a 2-bank to the right to clear the strain, and then maybe use auto thrusters to maybe turn to, it would be their left, towards the interceptors, just to try and get a little bit of arc on them.
Yeah. Looks like Fraser's gone for the block on Vader there. If he does get that block, that'll be quite a nice block. He'll have the blue Obsidian Squadron at range 1. And I can imagine, let's see what Lytton does. Yeah, that'd be really close.
Yeah.
Also really, really close avoiding that gas cloud there. So there's the target lock. So definitely hoping to get some shots on there, most likely with the sync laser cannons. Let's see if you called Volt right. Ooh. Going the other way. That is interesting. I'm not gonna lie, even though obviously I played this game, sometimes it's difficult to remember exactly what happens, but I think even at the time that surprised me a little bit. I think trying to avoid having 2 interceptors v1 was probably the goal there.
Yeah, I think probably flying an interceptor himself, you probably realise, yeah, they're quite nasty ships when they want to be. And I've got 2 coming up against me. Let's run.
Yeah. I mean, he does have the advantage of having the hull upgrade on there as well, so it gives him that little bit of longevity. But again, Suntifel and Sienna E, I mean, the advantage I have as well is there's no initiative clashes, so I will get to shoot first with everything. So if we manage to take something off the board, like with Reimer, there's no worries about the simultaneous fire. I'm just checking the dial to see which one I want to do first. Suntifel. He's not stressed, so he's free to do almost whatever he wants. So 3-bank.
Are you going to boost it?
It's whether I want a barrel roll boost or focus boost. It's such a... Going for the boost. Ooh, that's nice. Will be obstructed. So that was a focus boost. Clearing stress with Sienna. It's quite nice having 2 Initiative 6 interceptors as well. You really get that choice of who's going in what order. And to be honest, the new Sky Strike pack really brought in some good options for the interceptor, especially with Gideon Hask as well in there now. So it looks like just the boost, so not stressing herself this time. And Vader is going... Nope. 5 straight over the top. What action? Taking an action? Debating to see. Trying to have a look to see if blue might have arc there. So it looks like no action. Missed opportunity, I think, there. I think I should have taken a target lock there. I mean, if in doubt, always you've got the option to take a target lock. Oh, it looks like I took the focus instead. Yeah, I think I may have made a slight mistake there. Should have taken a target lock. But we're going to have Sienna shooting first. Ooh, that's not bad at all. 2 hits. And one evade and the gas cloud. Volt loving it. And range 1 through the gas cloud. So 4v4. Pretty good roll there.
That's not bad.
Ooh, that's 1 damage going into Volt. Again, the gas cloud giving a little bit of safety net there.
Yeah, it's probably a good job he had that hull upgrade on.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see if blue... No, I think we called the blue didn't have arc there. So a good 5 straight there from Vader getting out of all of that potential pain. Also sitting really nicely in the middle there, like managing to avoid everything and no bump. But I do think that not taking that target lock there was a bit of a mistake. So Volt's a little bit on the back foot. He's got 2 interceptors right behind him. The ties and the heavy could easily swing in and cover a lot of ground there, and put some good arc coverage in there. What would you do with Volt? Because I think he's the interesting one right now.
Well, he's not stressed. So what I would say 1 shot to the right.
Yeah.
Should be able to clear the gas cloud, and then from there. Maybe some form of boost or barrel roll. It depends on where the TIE fighters are going.
Are you thinking sort of merry-go-round them through the obstacles then, so they'd have to chase him further?
Yeah, either that or do the one right to come around, and then if the 2 TIE fighters just come round to the right after the interceptors, maybe do a barrel roll with Volt just to get him a little bit further out of range and away from a range 1.
Yeah. He's interesting. I mean, he's got other options as well. He could try and K-turn and get some guns back in. He could do the sloop to the left. I definitely wouldn't try the sloop right, because I think that no matter what happens there. But let's have a quick look.
Oh, K-turns.
K-turn from the TIE fighter.
Yeah, I'm just thinking with Volt, actually, it would make sense to do a 2 sloop to the left.
So red does get a strain there and a stress. For some reason the dice cam didn't seem to pick that one up. So let's see. Blue getting right in there. looks like he's sort of anticipating maybe Soontir and Sienna trying to get round and following Volt to try and cover. I'm also trying to get some coverage on Vader there as well, so... Here's the big boy coming round. Yeah, getting some... Ooh. Talon roll. Definitely trying to cover some arc there. Maybe we'll see Volt continuing to be a little bit of bait there for the Interceptors. Vader could potentially be going that way as well, so you could see everything sat right in front of the TIE Heavy. And looks like we've got Volt. Yeah, K10 over the gas cloud, so will he get strain? Yeah, he does get strained, so stressed and strained Volt there. Right, Soontir clearing the stress. And going very aggressive into Volt there.
I like that.
I thought you might, to be honest. That seems very much your cup of tea there.
Oh, yes.
So focus boost. Now, it's an odd one. Could potentially have not taken that focus to not stress Soontir, but I think given that the TIE Heavy is there as well, having access to multiple focuses is definitely going to be key in this next engagement.
Oh, yes.
And now just trying to work out, there's not really any space for Sienna to boost there.
I'd say maybe a barrel roll to get a little bit further out of range.
Yeah, looks like you called that quite nicely. So just the barrel roll, no focus. Again, trying not to stress her. What's Vader got planned? Vader seeing the Talon roll from the TIE RB and thinking, you know what? I can also do that. And it's probably at this point that I've just gone, oh, I really wish I'd taken a target lock right now. A target lock would be quite nice. But we've got Sienna taking a shot from downtown onto Volt. Or are we going Soontir first? No, let's go Soontir. So, thinking that maybe Soontir had marksmanship, but no, he's got Deadeye, so 2 hits, debating whether to expose the damage card or just get two, or just go for 2. Ooh. Ooh, that's good. That's good. Half points on Volt. Ouch. Now, can Sienna finish him off? So it was a tricky one. It was a case of, do I go 3v3 because of the strain or 4v2? And I elected 4v2, and there's the evade there from Volt.
He lives for another day.
He does. Vader has his choice of range 2 shots onto the TIE fighters. The squirrely TIE fighters.
Yeah, are you going at the red one because it's got a strain?
Let's... That, you know what, that would be the best option, but we'll see. So, spending the Force for an extra hit. 2 hits. 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 2 See how many dice I rolled. No, I went for the other one. Again, missed the strain token there. Foolish. Because that would have been 2 hits going through on red. So a bit of another miss there, but it's fine. So we've now got Volt back into Soontir by the look of it. Oh, just a crit.
I think that's evaded.
Is that the third natural evades? Like the third full natural evades that I've rolled? Wow.
I think so. I think your dice are very happy that, you've got them out.
I think my dice are as happy as I am to be able to actually get to play in person. Wow, that's exactly... Well, we've got Litten now. So it'll probably be sync laser cannons in Soontir. No way of modifying that. So 2 more hits and 2 more evades. Got the focus there anyway, so it would have been fine. So glue into Vader. Ooh, double crits.
Ooh.
And evades.
Those are very happy dice.
Yeah. It's a good dice on Fraser's part. It's just unfortunately my dice are a tad better at the moment. So still going quite well in my favour here. Let's see. It's tricky now because there's going to be a little bit of a flyby between Soontir and Volt. So Volt is potentially going to get around where he's not going to be getting shot at as much. Let's see how this next round goes. What would be your thinking then, on Fraser's part? Where would you be looking?
2 bank to the right with the red tie at the bottom.
What, towards my board edge?
Yeah. I think it's probably going to be the best bet just to get out of the way of the gas cloud.
Okay.
Maybe okay.
1 hard. Not clearing anything.
Fair enough. I think maybe the blue TIE fighter should do some form of K-turn just to try and get a pot shot or 2 at Vader since he's facing the other way.
I think you might have called that one.
Nice. Of bolts,
He wants to clear that stress.
He does, yeah. I think the only thing that's going to be able to do it is some form of...
Could do 3 or 4 over the top, but when you've got the TIE RB right there, that kind of narrows your options down.
Yeah, I'd say maybe a 2 bank to the right to clear the stress, but he is probably going to end up bumping Soontir and not have any actions.
Yeah, let's see what he pulls out. I think at this point, if I remember rightly, Fraser might have realised that he now has a very large TIE fighter in the way.
And it is literally a very large TIE fighter. It is the jumpiest of TIE fighters.
So it looked like he was going to try and do the 4 forward over the top, clear that stress. But in this one, he's landed on that gas cloud again. So clears the stress, but does he restrain himself again?
No.
Nope, that's good for Volt, so that's a bit of a bonus. Now, this is a bit of an awkward position for Vader. He's right in between two TIE fighters, and nothing he does will get him out of either arc because he doesn't have a boost anymore and you can't give him one.
Yeah, I was about to ask that. Has he got a boost still? But no, he hasn't.
No, because let me just have a quick. I don't think you can actually give him a boost anymore.
No, because doesn't it have to be on their action bar for you to be able to coordinate and give the boost?
Yeah, and also engine upgrade, I'm pretty sure, is not for small ships, it's for medium and large base ships, if I remember rightly, or even just large base. So, well, there's Sintifel just going over the top, clearing that stress. So it looks like a focus and target lock from Vader. Yeah, I mean, I remember back in version 1 when you could give Vader the boost, and he was just insane. Again, it was really good on a ship like that, so it kind of makes sense that you don't get that anymore. But also, it makes you look at a situation like this and go, "Oh, I don't like it so much." Sienna landing on the gas cloud. So, does Sienna strain herself? I think I'll roll for it in a second. We'll see. Oh no! I think she missed it.
Oh, you're actually looking at it to see whether it's cleared?
I think it did just...
It's very tight.
It's really hard to see. I think I might have actually cleared that. If I'm putting a focus token down, I must have actually... Wow. That is impressive.
Because from this angle, it looks as if you are definitely sitting on it.
Yeah.
But
if you look at the one that Volt's sitting on, it's the same token, and you see the way it flicks back down. The way it flicks back down, that's in the same position there. So I think it might be a just missed it. I mean, if this was TTS, it would be able to tell us so easily because it would pop up red, but unfortunately we're not in TTS. But we'll go with Vader first, taking a shot at the TIE RB. And that's pretty good. That's not bad either. So just the one crit going through. And that crit is a wounded pilot.
Okay. Could have been worse.
Yeah. I mean, could have been worse. So after you perform an action, roll 1 attack dice on a hit or crit result. Gain 1 stress token. Action, repair this card. Now we have Sienna. Will Sienna go for Volt or will Sienna go for the TIE RB?
I'd say it would make sense to go for the TIE RB purely because it's definitely at range 1.
Yeah, check.
I'll mention they're both at range 1.
No, just outside of range 1, but still going for Volt. Gonna try and see if we can clear him off the board. So 2 hits. That could do it. That could not do it. Ooh. I tell you what, that's really tough then. Like 4 dice into the TIE RB. I mean, on hindsight, maybe that might have been a better option. So hit crit from... Oh, and that goes through.
Ooh.
So that is a hit and crit on Sienna Ree. So the first damage, and the crit is a disabled power regulator. Luckily, Sienna has already engaged, so she doesn't gain an ion token this round. But next time she comes to the engagement, she will get an ion token if she manages to avoid getting absolutely murked by the TIE RB at range 1. Who, if I'm looking at that right, has a target lock on Sienna as well. So there's the target lock. So 1 hit as it is. And that's 2 hits, and that's enough.
Sienna's gone.
Night Night Sienna Ree. So good focus firing there from Fraser. Really concentrating and getting him down, getting Sienna down there. So that's well played there. And looks like we got range 2 from blue onto Vader. I'm okay with those dice. And that's from red. So just the one. And there's an evade. But I mean, we can quickly see that it can turn quite rapidly. I mean, you look at the points now, one ship down on my side, and it's now 57 to 78. So it's not going to take a lot for Fraser to bring this back round. If he can just cause like quick damage on ships. I mean, 2 damage on Soontir, and then that's a lot more points back on the board for him.
Oh, yeah.
And as we said, Vader's 77 points. He's the most expensive on the board. He's probably one of the harder ones to take out, but again, it's possible. You focus fire.
Especially when there's literally double the amount of ships on the board as to poor Soontir and Darth on their own.
I mean, if anybody can do it, it's Soontir and Darth Vader.
Oh gosh, yeah. They're like the dream team.
I mean, it is always. It's one of those things. Some players love having very few ships, like 2 or 3 ships. Some players revel in that. Some players prefer to have more ships. For myself, I tend to prefer to have 3 or 4 ships is normally how I like to play. I mean, 3 very expensive ships here is quite... It's fun, but it's also a little bit nerve-wracking, especially with how, as we saw, how quickly Sienna Ree went down there, how quickly those interceptors can pop. It's a bit nerve-wracking, but you've got to rely... You've just got to rely on some good flying and just some bravado with them, and it can normally pan out quite well. I mean, as we saw in Game 1 of the Commentator Wars with you, Amy, and your interceptors, you got them right into the fight so quickly. And I remember looking at it going, well, there's some interceptors that are going to go pop. No, they started popping everything else. They went to town on everything.
It's one of my favourite lists to fly is the Quinterceptors.
I mean, I did fly 4 interceptors in the next game after this on a different table. And it was 4 interceptors versus the Houndstooth, the Shadowcaster, and the Scum Falcon. And I'm not going to lie, I was just looking at it going, this is going to go quite badly, I feel. But it actually went all right. I managed to get the Houndstooth down and some considerable damage, and it was quite a close game. But false transponder codes were quite painful for me in there, handing out a lot of jam tokens. So, but we don't have to worry about any of that here. We've just got some TIE fighters trying to get in my way at the moment.
They're definitely succeeding at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, do they not realise that they're supposed to be on, like, my wingmen? I mean, they shouldn't be getting in my way. They should be trying to support me here, surely.
Maybe they're at Civil War.
Ooh, maybe.
Or it could be training and exercise as planned, but realise, no, actually, let's go for it.
You've treated us like cannon fodder for too long, Darth Vader. And so that is a stress for the wounded pilots after doing the action. So the action there was to rotate that turret to the back.
Smart move.
Yeah, I do agree there actually. And there is Volt doing the sloop.
Yep.
Again, I think that's actually quite good there to see if he can get back in on Suntir. Suntir's not stressed though, so gonna do a 1 hard. Now the debate, what's gonna give me the better angle? Barrel rolling first, then boosting, or boosting then barrel rolling? Barrel back. Oh, just leaving it as the barrel roll. I'll tell you what, if I'd have had Daredevil, it would have been alright. I'd have boosted and 1 hard would have been great.
It's almost as if he's playing it safe.
Yeah.
To come back in afterwards. He's definitely out of range, he's got to be.
Yeah. I think sometimes as well, it is, although it's always nice to keep getting those shots in, sometimes it is definitely worth taking that chance to just reset a little bit and just come back. Don't be afraid to take a turn away before coming back in. I think some people think that you need to be getting those shots in all the time, but if you can disengage and come back in a really good position. Range 1 from Vader. Target lock is on the TIE Heavy though, so looks like we are seeing if we can pop that TIE Fighter finally. So 2 hits, spending a force and causing the focus spend. Again, squarely TIE Fighter lives. I swear when I fight basic TIE Fighters, they don't do this well. They don't just like evade everything.
It's 50-50 with them, isn't it?
Yeah. One hit, 1 evade.
Pretty even.
Vader is very much weathering that storm quite well there. And not only that, he's also got himself in a nice position where he's not caught by Red or the Heavy there. And sneaking that evade in as well. That is a scary position for Vader to be sat right in there, though, with just everything able just to turn in on him. I mean, that red TIE fighter is still stressed and strained, so he hasn't been able to clear any of that yet. Now, big question. You've got 3 ships that can probably quite easily stick in on Vader, or do you go for Suntir? Do you disengage from Vader, try and just get past him, get around him, and go in on Suntir? Or do you think Vader's right there in front of me, see how much I can get in on
him? I'd say Vader, purely because to get in at Suntir, you've probably got a little bit of extra flying to do to get to him. So I would definitely say go towards Vader.
Okay. Well, it looks like again another situation where it'd be TTS would really make it easy, just trying to use another ship to see would that clear.
Yeah.
That's again, it's sometimes difficult when you've actually got to place those templates down to be able to really work it. But we're going to utilise my downed ship to see would it clear. I think we've ruled that it would not clear. Just because of the way it angled round, it would clip back in. But now we need to somehow... Yeah, there we go. So it is a bump from red. Very well. It's almost like we've practiced that for a while. And I can imagine that's only going to get smoother the more we actually get a chance to get down and play.
Yeah, definitely.
So what does blue try and do? Does blue clear that?
Okay.
No bump from blue, so looks like it's a bit of a go in at Soontir, but also see if you can block Vader a little bit there. There's a nice gap in between red and blue though, so... And just the 2 forward from Lytton. Turning down.
I forgot that the guns can do that.
What, then they can
Sorry,
actually
I've got
move on the
distracted.
ship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as you turn the arc, you can actually turn the...
Yeah. It's
completely
really...
forgot.
It's so cool. I think that, for me, when I first saw it, I was like, do those guns move? If they don't, it's a shame. Yes, they can move. So you can use that as your turret arc indicator. Obviously, still a good idea to actually have your indicator on the model as well, but the fact that you can use that as your indicator, and it looks like it looks like Volt is going very much in for Vader there. So I need to see if Volt still has... I think it'd be really tricky for Vader to get out of arc there, but Soontir is coming around. Focus boost. There's the stress. Vader trying the 5 forward. I don't think there's going to be enough space between. No, not enough space there. So bumping into red, that's a brilliant... That's a great position for Volt if he survives Soontir, but also a great position for Vader because it means that he's got a really nice shot on Lytton. Just checking to see, is it range 3? Nope, so Soontir's ability doesn't trigger, but we've got a range 2 in on Volt. Oh, hit crit, that's not bad. And looks like Volt's strained as well. And that's Volt down. That is Volt gone. So hit crit, and the crit is a loose stabilizer. So Vader is now very much loving life. Range 1 into Lytton with a focus, so that's 4 dice. Gonna change one of those to a crit, so guaranteeing the crit going through. 3 hits and a crit there on Lytton. And the crit is a hull breach.
Oh, that isn't a one you want.
That's not good at all, especially when he's still got damage left there. So before you would suffer 1 or more hit damage, suffer that many crit damage instead. Action to repair the card. And it looks like Vader has managed to stay out of Lytton arc. So Vader is out of arc there.
That's so jammy.
That was very jammy. Blue does have a shot at Soontir, range 3, hit crit. Not a bad roll, but that's better.
Much better.
Just spending the focus, why not? Knowing that red is out of range, as we'd already tried to check for the bullseye. Oh, that was I mean, nice positioning from Fraser there, and it could have been really good. Unfortunately, Suntir really came in and just mopped up Volt there.
There is a big difference in points again now.
Yeah, this is now, obviously it's quite tough for Fraser now. I mean, those two ties, I mean, they could do it. If they get some good shots in on Suntir, they could do it. Litton's in a really tricky position. So he's obviously got to try and contend with Vader, who's obviously quite maneuverable. So, it's tough. I think Litton Dream needs to turn back towards Fraser's board edge to try and keep that arc pointing backwards to try and cover as much space as possible. And those TIE fighters, they just need to go aggressive into Suntir. See if you can get one of them to block Suntir to negate actions.
Oh, that's close to the gas cloud. It looks as if they've cleared it.
Cleared it, but I think the actual template did move the gas cloud there, so it did go over it, so that's a strain there. Now, I think we're pretty safe to say that Red has definitely gone over that one.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I mean, he's gone over it, he's landed in it, he's definitely having crab claw gas cloud for dinner tonight. But I mean, he does finally get rid of his stress and strain just to get the strain back. But he's been holding on to that stress and strain for quite a long time now.
Yeah.
3 or 4 turns. Oh, going to ship left there instead. Maybe hoping that Vader was going to try and go for a K turn. We'll see. Potentially some good positioning there from Fraser if this pans out well. Let's see what happens. Repairing the hull breach. Sensible, I think. Very sensible. And Vader... Oh.
Oops.
Right, with a focus, target locker there. Yeah, it's pretty good from Vader. What is Suntir doing? The 2 straights. Oh, okay. That's really nice for blue. But I think there's space.
It does look as if there's space. You're thinking boost forward 1.
Yeah, straightforward boost. Looks like there is a nice bit of space there for that. Yeah, looks like we're going for a focus boost. And that's how you fly aggressive. Oh. Clip the TIE fighter. Again, you don't get that in TTS.
No. So
that boost lands perfectly there for a nice range 1 shot. I really wish Suntir had marksmanship right now. That would have been insane.
Marksmanship is hands down one of my most favourite upgrades to use.
Yeah. Oh, just the 1 hit from Suntir there. And TIE fighter evading it. I mean, you can get into the best positions in the world, but if your dice say no, then so there we go. That's Vader going to spend the target lock because he had the target lock previously. Fraser reminded me to change it to a crit, which was very nice of Fraser. So thank you very much there. And that's bye-bye Litton Dream.
Oh.
And just for posterity, the last crit there was a blinded pilot. Yeah, just going to show that even though Vader has a nice, new, shiny ship, he is still very powerful in his old ship. Now, can the Red TIE Fighter do anything here? Oh, it's a good job I got that focus. So rather unfortunate there for Fraser that boost was able to fit, otherwise he'd have had two very nice range one shots in on Soontir. Obviously one of the downsides with the TIE RB, although it's got the forward or back arc, it's still got a lot of side arcs that you can get into. I think it's quite interesting here though now, looking at it, all the ships are facing the wrong way technically. They're going to have to spend a bit of time coming back round now.
Yeah. Because obviously they're strained as well, so it's going to be awkward.
Well, looks like we've got a K-Tang coming from red.
Can they do that if they're strained?
Yes. So strain doesn't affect what you can actually do with your dial. It's still only stress. Strain just means that you would be -1 agility.
Right.
Now you can have. Again, that's not something you see on TTS ships coming off the base. Like you can have multiple strain tokens, but only one will ever take effect at a time. It just means it'll take longer for you to clear them. So in this example, as you can see, blue now has 2 strain tokens, but he'll still only ever be at -1 agility. It doesn't stack.
Talon roll.
Vader talon rolling. Did the best and quickest move to get back around. Soontir just going forward, knowing that he's going over that, just thinking, well, if I can get rid of the stress and put as much distance between me and the TIE fighters, no strain either. So I don't think there's going to be any shooting here.
No.
No. I think at this stage it now does become a bit of an unfair matchup. I think no matter how good the TIE fighters can be, this is not a position you'd want them to be in.
No.
So, but I'll tell you what though, like it's really good being able to actually fly triple I-6s now on the Imperial faction. And I know we do have Vader in the Defender as well, but Vader in the TIE Advance is still really good. Still a really viable ship there.
I don't think I've... Oh, gosh, it's been so long since I've flown that ship. And I keep forgetting how good it actually is. I'm going to have to get those lists out again just to fly them.
Ooh. And that's another strain. So removing one strain, gaining another strain up there on blue. He's really not having a great day. But yeah, I think the TIE Advance, it's a solid ship. Its ship ability with the advanced targeting computer now being a baked-in ability rather than a mod that you had to take is just really good. I think not having the boost is something that makes you sort of think, I'm not sure, but it's got a pretty good dial, and you know what? It's got a lot of health, 3 hull and 2 shields. is substantial.
Oh, yeah.
And even though you've only got 2 attack dice normally, when you factor in the advanced target computer, and you can do some really cool stuff on there. You can put passive sensors on there, which I think is really good for your lower initiative ones. And for your higher initiative ones, you can do fire control system. There's some really good things that you can actually put in on there, and the fact that you can stick missiles on them as well is just really cool.
Yeah.
So they kind of have a bit of a multi-role there. And looks like Suntir, knowing that he's not really going to have a great position, just getting right out of there. Vader, target lock, focus, range 1. Again, this is where the advanced target computer really comes into play. So turning that to a crit. And spending the force, just spending all the force at this point. And that's blue gone.
Ouch.
Finally taken him out. Weapons failure and a fuel leak there on blue. So it's taken all game to actually get some damage through on them. And let's see, so red has a range 3 on Vader. Can he get some damage in the last? Unfortunately not.
No. 10 seconds to go.
Yeah, I think at this point we decided that was game. And I'm not going to lie, yes, I'm a little bit biased. My dice were good and it was a good result for me, but it was still a really good, fun game to fly. Trying to have to fly 3 versus 5 is interesting, to say the least. And I think that Fraser flew that very well. It's just I think the dice were a bit more in my favour, unfortunately.
It's a decimator.
Yes, a very nice paint job on that decimator, actually.
I'm going to have to get my decimators out again.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
that was a great game. That was brilliant.
Really good game though. Really enjoyed that. Really nice to be back in store. So we were back down at Entoyment down in Poole. So hopefully we get you lots more games from in store. We even have a tournament coming up in July. So that'll be really good fun. But Amy, I just want to say thank you very much for coming along and watching that with me. I know that obviously a lot of Empire on the board is always good for you.
Yes, thank you so much for having me back. This was brilliant to watch.
No worries. But guys, again, thank you very much for watching. As always, please do make sure that you like the video, subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell. As always, there'll be plenty more videos to come and we will see you next time.